If you're a conscious single woman and your goals list looks something like this, then you could be missing out on an opportunity to attract a relationship. Why? Because the way you write down your list can actually create subconscious, mental, and even physical blocks to attracting what you want. So let's change that right now with one simple tweak. First, you're gonna cut out each of the items on your list. Yeah, when we think of list, we just think of just a bunch of things all sort of crammed together. But this list is going to be a little bit different and more effective, less overwhelming, all that good stuff. Because following your dreams isn't always super easy, right? There's a lot that you have to do, and I want to give you one less thing to feel overwhelmed about. So first off, we're just going to talk about the fact that there are so many items on the list. If this is a bucket list, that's awesome. You can have as many items as you want on a bucket list, 100, 200, 300. But if you are just making a list of some goals, then this is a list of 15 goals. Then 15 goals could be too many. It could be better just to pare it down to 3 or 5. It's up to you. This is all about what feels right for your vibration. There's lots of different ways to think about building lists, but I want to do an exercise with you that you may not have heard of. And so let's move these out of the way and just get a plain piece of paper. Go ahead and just draw one line along the top and then divide this into 3 sections. Great. Now I want you to put myself on one side and others or other on the other side. And then we're just going to divide your list into things that you don't need anybody else's input, something you can completely do on your own, or that you would have more control over. So like walk 1 hour per day, read novels, eat more veggies, adopt a cat, exercise. But what about the one that says get in a relationship? That's something that you need another person involved in order to be able to achieve that. So we're going to put that on the other side, the side that's marked others. So we've got all these items. Those ones on the left are ones that you can do on your own. And the one on the right is something that you would need someone else to be involved in. It's not something you can do on your own. Now, before you're wondering where I'm going with this, go ahead and through the center of this, draw a dotted line. Great. So what does this look like? This is a street. So if you've ever heard the saying, stay on your side of the street, I'm thinking about the street as the division between you want to be in a relationship, but it involves something that is mutual, not something you can do all on your own. So there is a lot of subconscious mental load when you are subconsciously trying to manifest and achieve a goal that takes someone else. And that mental load, that sort of drags down your vibration, because when you are reviewing your goals, there isn't a sort of subconscious question in your mind all the time, why isn't this happening? So one thing that I didn't talk about in this list is just the fact that when you're creating a list of things that you want to manifest, saying something like eat more veggies is very vague. And so I think it's really well known by now, saying something much more specific like eat veggies instead of more 3 times a day is much more specific. And so we're going to bring this advice to the concept of getting into a relationship. So I have another goal that I wrote in here, which is go on more dates. Now it's kind of in the middle section here, because it's a lot easier to go on more dates than it is to get into a relationship. That's something that is more a me, myself, and I goal than something that requires others. Of course it does. You both agree to go on that date together. But in general, it's pretty easy to find people to go on dates with. But instead of more dates, if you want to be in a relationship, thinking about the idea of being more specific, let's say 4 times a month, for instance, could be a goal. So let's say that your friends have been really encouraging you to get on a dating app. We could say, get on app, your favorite app in that line. So these are all things you can do on your own to manifest this goal of getting into a relationship. So why do we do this? We do this so that your energy doesn't feel divided, so that you don't have this sort of unconscious energy drag where you don't feel like there's something neglected. And at the same time, you can put extra intention, extra meditation towards your other list, but it's clear, it's named what it is. You realize that it's not something that you need to achieve. It's something that happens with another person through just shared desire and magnetism, right? And at the same time, you're doing things in your life like getting on apps or going on more dates that can help you to manifest this. So when you're dividing your list up, it's sort of like things that you can say, I've got this and we've got this, right? Right now, if you're not in a relationship, it's all about you and what you can take care of, what you can achieve, instead of subconsciously sort of berating yourself because you have not yet achieved a relationship. And this sort of reframe is actually well known by people that are sort of interested in lists and things, list nerds like me. And it's often written down as your someday maybe list. That's all you're creating is a someday maybe list, but specifically just recognizing that this is a separate list that you are sort of exploring in a way that is helping to raise your spirits rather than sort of drag you down with subconscious sort of criticisms about why has this thing not been achieved. So I hope this technique helps when you are looking over your lists and sort of reviewing what you've achieved, so that you have a sort of sense that, all your bases are covered. Any sort of subtle mental tax you might be sort of placing on yourself and realizing like, no, that does not need to be there. So that instead you can sort of attract more of a lightness, realizing that yes, this desire, the thing you want to manifest, is on your radar, but it's just not necessarily something that you personally need to achieve right now.